Unscripted.
Well, it happened again. Again, I got to say that Sony's doing a really good job with everything that they're doing so far. Yeah, there's been some bumps. There's been a little bit of ups and downs. I mean, but when doesn't that happen in a time like this? When you launch a new console, obviously you're going to get the ups and downs. You're going to get lots of things that happen like this. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's something that is really going to happen to every console maker. But the difference is, I think Sony handled things the real and right way. They handled things in a way that I think attracted hardcore gamers and attracted gamers who have been gaming for a long time. And I feel like that's something that should be commended. That's something, like, as a longtime gaming fan, I feel like that should be commended. They've done an excellent job at appealing to a lot of people's inner gamer, and and they did it the right way. Again, I can't reiterate that enough. Just with the way that they handle things, with the way that they handle everything, I just think that it's a much smarter tactic. They really focus on them wanting, gamers to, console gamers to want their console. They make you feel good. They make you feel special by wanting their console. They give you the content. They give you, it's not just here's this console, we're not going to put anything on it, and then while this thing launches, let's talk about all this other crap that you don't care about, right? It's not that type of situation. So I got to say that I really do respect and admire the way that Sony really handled that this generation, and I'm just hooked on those games and the things that they're doing, much more so than what Microsoft is doing. So, I mean, that's a huge difference and distinct difference than what Microsoft is doing in and of themselves. But this, I thought, was very interesting because, again, we have a situation where the PlayStation 5 looks even better than what we initially thought. So I'm excited to jump into this. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. If you're looking to help out just a small little crappy channel like mine, I feel like the best way to do that is a simple like. It means everything to me, and it's free for you guys to do. So I put a lot of hard work and effort into these videos. I do them every day, and I'm just looking forward to sort of seeing that respect. I respect you guys. You guys respect me, and I look forward to that. And it's really much appreciated from each and every one of you because of that. So thank you guys. And shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in between. As things kind of slow down going into next year, all this stuff expected. To be honest with you, the hyping of the console is kind of done, and now it's like, just the normal stuff. So I'm happy that everybody seems to be enjoying their new consoles that's got them. If you haven't got them yet, keep trying. I'm sure you'll be, getting them, quickly and as soon as possible. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to be the case. And, I just really do think that, this generation is going to be a fun one, and I'm looking forward to that. So, always keep your mind on the positive, not the negative, because I feel like once you start focusing on the negative, bad things happen. So let's all try to try our best to focus on the very positive as we can get. And again, that's something that I tend to do on a day-to-day basis, just because that's something that obviously is going to be is going to be something that happens. So with that being said, I want to jump right into kind of what I wanted to talk about. Again, the Xbox Series X was supposed to be this absolutely incredible, amazing console that was a beast machine, and it was an eater of proportionate magnitudes, and it was going to be doing all of these things. It was going to be doing like these amazing things, right? And it was going to be so far ahead of the PlayStation 5 that PlayStation owners were going to have no reason or no recourse but to buy one. And now we've kind of seen a situation where that's not necessarily the case. Like everybody was counting on like that to be a big reason to buy an Xbox Series X, and honestly, it just hasn't worked out that way. So with that being said, it is very interesting when this kind of news comes out and we keep seeing this type of stuff again. Like, it's crazy to see how that kind of works out, right? It is. It's just so crazy to me how this all kind of works out. But what happened was, you guessed it, something incredible for the PlayStation 5. Another basically a win, and this is something that I feel like obviously a lot of people are going to not want to be talking about. Now, what am I talking about? Watch Dogs Legions, which was something that that was going to run and look best on the Xbox Series X. It was marketed with Xbox. They showed it off with Xbox. Watch Dogs Legions is identical visual settings. Okay, so Watch Dogs Legions runs the same visual settings on the PlayStation 5 as the Xbox Series X with performance as well. A new video analysis shared by Digital Foundry confirms that the latest entry in the open world series by Ubisoft runs pretty much the same on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, featuring the same visual sets and visual settings. But to address the most burning question, I can confirm right away that Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 do indeed run with practically identical visual settings, an almost complete match for the details locked anyway in the PC version's configuration files, which don't just include PC settings, but every single version. This is the most readily evidenced in side-by-side ray tracing comparison. The ray tracing effect is identical, but crucially, the cutoff for objects not in the reflection is also the same, meaning matched fidelity in the effect itself, but also identical compromises and optimizations. The only real visual differences are puddles missing, a little bit on one thing, so I guess we can have Puddlegate or whatever, and a slightly lower level of texture filtering. There seems to be caused by some bugs. That's not actually the performance initiated or anything like that. Nothing in the coding file suggested this to be intentional. There seems to be a bug on the Xbox Series platform here for some reason. Xbox Series X delivers a slightly lower level of texture filtering than the PS5 equivalent. Again, checking the reference files with the PC version, Xbox Series X and PS5 should be using the same ultra quality setting, while Series S explicitly gets a cutback rendition of the effect. Beyond that, any differences between the premium consoles are thin on the ground. Literally, I noticed that puddles are missing in some instances, likely another inconsistency rather than intended behavior. So again, we have Puddlegate, this rearing its ugly head. So I do find this to be kind of funny. And again, these are all things that I just feel like that, for as much stuff as we get, this is like some of the more cheesy things, right, to kind of focus on. And, it's always kind of fun to see people kind of freak out about this stuff. So again, props to Sony for putting out this incredible console that absolutely is hitting above and punching above its weight in pretty much every comparison that we've seen so far. So that's been fantastic, to say the least. And I gotta say, super impressive stuff, especially giving the quote-unquote 12 petite-flops of power, by Phil Spencer and everybody hyped. So, according to this, on the Xbox Series S, Watch Dogs Legions has the same settings for ray trace reflections, running at checkerboarding 1080p instead of dynamic 4K as the rest of the presentation. The Series S also has the same settings for its ray trace reflections, but with one crucial difference. The premium consoles target a dynamic 4K rendering resolution for the majority of the presentations, but reflections run at checkerboard 1080p. For the Series S, though, with its much lower 1080p target pixel count, ray traced reflections resolution drops in steps. Reflections here are rendered intentionally at 720p. Man, it's so weird to see things dropping into 720p again and below that even. Performance is also identical on all three systems. Watch Dogs Legions runs at steady 30 FPS on all new consoles, which is an improvement over the uneven performance of the game on the PS4 and Xbox One, which again they state everything runs at 30 frames per second on all three consoles, with none of the varying levels of slowdown found on last-gen machines. Uninterestingly for frame rate graphs, but great for the players, I suspect we were limited on both CPU and GPU sides of the last-gen platforms, but the new hardware just powers through with the DRS system taking care of any potential graphics. So again, you have this as a clear win, in my opinion, for PlayStation. Even if they're looking the same, doesn't that really mean that it's best that it's a win for Sony's machine? Just my opinion, because again, this was going to be something that obviously was going to be something that was supposed to never happen, right? Like, this was never supposed to happen. We weren't ever going to see a situation where these things were running equally ever again, right? Like, people literally told me this. They were like, well, we're never going to see anything running equally. That's the Xbox Series X is going to always run better. I literally heard it all. And to be frank about it, I call BS, and I said this a long time ago as well, that why do people expect such a huge gulf? Why? Right? Like, I honestly ask that, like, why do people expect there to be a huge difference? And nobody really had an answer. You know, they link you to some YouTube nonsense from some YouTuber who has never built a console, some YouTuber who has never worked in the games industry, and they expect you to take their word for it. And for me personally, I'm just never going to do that, right? Because nobody's perfect, I get that, but hey, let's listen to what these developers who actually are in the industry have to say. I think that's going to be the most pertinent thing we can do, and the smartest thing we can do. And when I said and reiterated what actual developers who are working on these things said, which was, guess what? This is the smallest difference that we've ever seen between a console launching for PlayStation and Xbox. The smallest difference. And I think that pretty much says all we need to know. I'm going to link this, however, in the description below. Let me know what you think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Have a happy holiday. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer, out.
Unscripted.